This is part 2 of Rachel by Angela Weld Grimke.
Ma Rachel.
What is it, Jimmy boy?
Three guesses, Ma Rachel.
Well, let's see. Maybe there's a circus in town.
No, sir, you're not right.
Well, maybe Ma Loving's gonna take you somewhere.
No, it's that.
You said I could have 3 guesses, honey. I've only had 2.
I thought you had 3. How many are 3?
1, 2, 3. I've only had 1, 2. See? Perhaps Uncle Tom is gonna give you some candy.
No. I leaned over the bathtub, way over, and got a hold of the chain with the little button on the end, and dropped it into the little round place at the bottom, and then I ran lots and lots of water in the bathtub, and climbed over and fell and splash, just like a big stone, and I took a bath all by myself alone.
All by yourself, honey? You ran the water too, boy, not runned it. What I want to know is, where was Ma Loving all this time?
I stole in creepy creep and looked at Ma Loving, and she was awful fast asleep. Ma Rachel, I'm an awful big boy, aren't I? I'm almost a man, aren't I?
Oh, boy, I'm getting tired of correcting you. I am almost a man, am I not? Jimmy boy, what will Ma Rachel do if you grow up? Why, I won't have a little boy anymore. Honey, you mustn't grow up, do you hear? You mustn't.
Oh, yes, I must. And you'll have me just the same, Ma Rachel. I'm going to be a policeman and make lots and lots of money for you and Ma Loving and Uncle Tom. And I'm going to buy you some trains and fire engines and little cunning ponies and some rabbits and some great enormous banks full of money, lots of it. And then we're going to live in a great big castle and eat lots and lots of ice cream all the time and drink lots of nice pink lemonade.
What a generous Jimmy boy. Before I give you the morning kiss, I must see how clean my boy is. Jimmy, you're sweet and clean enough to eat. Now the hands. Oh, Jimmy, look at those nails. Oh, Jimmy, honey, get my file off the bureau and go to Ma Loving. She must be awake by this time. Why, honey, what's the matter with your feet?
I don't know. They look kind of queer myself. What's the matter with them?
You have your shoes on the wrong feet.
Isn't that the most enormously funny? I am a case, aren't I? I mean, am I not, Ma Rachel?
Yes, honey. A great big case of molasses. Come, you must hurry now and get dressed. You don't want to be late for school, you know.
Ma Rachel, I've been making something for you all the morning. Ever since I waked up. It's awful nice. It's stooped down, Ma Rachel. Please, a great big...
Good morning, dearie. How's my little girl this morning? Why, where's Tom? I was certain I heard him running water in the tub some time ago.
Tom isn't up yet. Have you seen Jimmy?
Jimmy? No, I didn't know he was awake even.
Well, what do you think of that? I sent the young gentleman to you a few minutes ago for help with his nails. He is very much grown up this morning, so I suppose that explains why he didn't come to you. Yesterday, all day, you know, he was a puppy. No one knows what it'll be by tomorrow. All of this, Ma dear, is preliminary to telling you that Jimmy boy has stolen a march on you this morning.
Stolen a march? How?
It appears that he took his bath all by himself, and as a result, he is so conceited, peacocks aren't in it with him.
I heard the water running and thought, of course, it was Tom. Why, the little rascal. I must go and see how he has left things. I was just about to wake him up.
Rheumatism's not much better this morning, Ma dear. Tell me the truth now. Did you or did you not try that liniment I bought you yesterday?
Well, Rachel, you see, it was this way. I was so tired last night, I really forgot it.
I thought as much. Shame on you.
As soon as I walk around a bit, it will be all right. It always is. It's bad when I first get up, that's all. I'll be spry enough in a few minutes. Rachel, I don't know why the thought should strike me, but how very strangely things turn out. If anyone had ever told me 4 years ago that Jimmy would be living with us, I should have laughed at him. Then it hurt to see him. Now it would hurt not to. Rachel, sometimes I wonder if perhaps God hasn't relented a little and given me back my boy, my George.
The whole thing was strange, wasn't it?
Yes, God's ways are strange and often very beautiful. Perhaps all would be beautiful if we only understood.
God's ways are certainly very mysterious. Why, of all the people in this apartment house, should Jimmy's father and mother be the only two to take the smallpox and the only two to die? It's queer.
Doesn't seem like 2 years ago, does it?
2 years, Ma dear. Why, it's the 3rd of January.
Are you sure, Rachel?
I don't believe I could ever forget that, Ma dear.
No, I suppose not. That is one of the differences between youth and old age. Youth attaches tremendous importance to dates. Old age does not.
Ma dear, don't talk like that. You're not old.
Oh, yes, I am, dearie. It's 60 long years since I was born, and I am much older than that, much older.
Please, Ma dear, please.
Very well, dearie, I won't say it anymore. By the way, how does Tom strike you these days?
The same old bantering, cheerful Tom. Why?
I know he's all that, dearie, but isn't it possible for him to be really cheerful? When you are little, we mothers can kiss away all the trouble, but when you grow up and go out into the world and get hurt, we're helpless. There is nothing we can do.
Don't worry about Tom, Ma dear. He's game. He doesn't show the white feather.
Did you see him when he came in last night?
Yes.
Had he had any luck?
No. Ma dear, we may as well face it. It's hopeless, I'm afraid.
I'm afraid you're right. Well, I'll go and see how Jimmy has left things and wake Tom if he isn't awake yet. It's the waking up in the mornings that's hard.
Good morning, Mary Sunshine. Have you perhaps been taking a prolonged draught of that very delightful beverage, vinegar? I take it back, I'm sure. May I request humbly that before I press my chaste morning salute upon thy forbidding lips, that you are in some way rid yourself of that knife? I thank you. What's the matter, my little sis?
Tommy dear, don't mind me. I'm getting wicked, I guess. At present, I feel just like curdled milk. Once upon a time, I used to have quite a nice disposition, didn't I, Tommy?
Did you indeed? I'm not going to flatter you. Well, brace yourself, old lady. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go! You are a pretty decent little sister, sis. That's what T. Loving thinks about it. And he knows a thing or two. Has the paper come yet?
I haven't looked. It must have, though, by this time.
May T. Loving be of any service to you?
Service? How?
May he run, say, any errands, set the table, cook the breakfast, anything?
You look like working.
It's at least polite to offer.
You can't do anything. I don't trust you to do it right. You may just sit there and read your paper and try to behave yourself.
Thank you, ma'am. Lo, big fella, what's this?
How can I hear? I'm miles and miles away yet. Good morning.
Bless my stars. Who's this? Well, if it isn't Mr. Mason. How do you do, Mr. Mason? That's a beautiful horse you have. He limps a little trifle in his left hind front foot, though.
He doesn't.
He does.
He doesn't.
I say he does.
For heaven's sake, what is this? Good morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Ma. Ma, Jimmy says his horse doesn't limp in his hind front right leg. I say he does.
I think Uncle Tom is funnier than any clown in the Kickus.
In the what, Jimmy?
In the Kickus, of course.
Kickus? Kickus? Oh, Lordy. Boy, you'll be the death of me yet. Circus, son. Circus.
Well, I think Kickus and Circus are very much alike. Please put me down.
We laugh, honey, because we love you so much.
Is that so, Uncle Tom?
Surest thing in the world. Come, get down, young man. Don't you know you'll wear out my arms? Besides, there isn't something in my lower vest pocket that's just dying to come out to you? Get down, I say.
How can I get down? You're holding me.
How should I know? Just get down, of course.
Please sit down, Uncle Tom.
Sit down? For what?
Why, you said there was something for me in your pocket.
So I did. How forgetful I am.
Oh!
Why, Jimmy, you embarrass me. My.
What is Barris?
You make me blush.
What's that?
Come, children. Rachel has breakfast on the table.
What's the matter now?
You're in my place.
Well, can't you sit in mine?
I want to sit by my Ma Rachel.
Well, so do I.
Tom, stop teasing Jimmy. Honey, don't you let him bother you. Ask him please prettily.
Please, prettily, Uncle Tom.
Oh, well then.
Oh, goody, we've got sausages.
Shh!
Uncle Tom,
Sir?
I took a bath this morning all by myself alone in the bathtub, and I ran. No, I run, I think, all the water in it. And I got in all by myself, and Ma Lemmick thought it was you. But it was me, actually.
See here, young man, this won't do. Don't you know I'm the only one who's allowed to do that here? It's a perfect waste of water. That's what that is.
Oh, no. You're not the only one, because Ma Loving and Ma Rachel and me's all take baths every single morning, so there.
You embarrass me, boy. Young gentleman, your mouth is open. Close it, sir.
Tom, you're as big a child exactly as Jimmy.
You compliment me. I thank you, I am sure.
I'm through, Ma Rachel.
Jimmy, you're a big boy now, aren't you? I wonder if you're big enough to wash your own hands this morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, if they're beautifully clean, I'll give you another penny.
Please untie my napkin, Ma Rachel. Excuse me, please.
Certainly. Rachel, do you know what day this is?
Yes, Ma dear.
Tom,
Yes, Ma.
we must never, as long as we live, forget this day.
No, Ma dear.
No, Ma. I hear people talk about God's justice, and I wonder. There are you, Ma. There isn't a sacrifice that you haven't made. You're still working your fingers to the bone, sewing, just so all of us may keep on living. Rachel is a graduate in domestic science. She was high in her class. Most of her girls below her in rank have positions in the school. I'm an electrical engineer. I've tried steadily for months to practice my profession. It seems our educations aren't much use to us. We aren't allowed to make good because our skins are dark. And there are white men. They have everything. They're well dressed, well fed, well housed. They're prosperous in business. They're important politically. They're pillars in the church. I know all of this. I've inquired. Their children, our ages, some of them are growing up around them, and they are having a square deal handed out to them. College, position, wealth, and best of all, freedom without galling restriction to work out their own salvations. With ability, they may become anything. And all of this will be true of their children's children after them. Look at us. And look at them. We are destined to failure, they to success. Their children shall grow up in hope, ours in despair. Our hands are clean. Theirs are red with blood, with the blood of a noble man and a boy. They're nothing but low, cowardly, bestial murderers. The scum of the earth shall succeed. God's justice, I suppose.
Oh, Tom, promise me one thing.
What is it, Ma?
That you'll try not to lose faith in God. I've been where you are now, and it's black. Tom, we don't understand God's ways. My son, I know now, he is beautiful. Tom, won't you try to believe again?
I'll try, Ma.
Each one, I suppose, has to work out his own salvation. Rachel, if you'll get Jimmy ready, I'll take him to school. I've got to go downtown shopping for a customer this morning. A yard, you say, Rachel? You're sure that will be enough? Oh, you've measured it? Anything else? What? Oh, all right. I'll be back by 1 o'clock anyway. Goodbye.
Hello, big fella. Where are you taking my mother? I'd like to know. This is a pretty kettle of fish.
Aren't you funny, Uncle Tom? Well, I'm not taking her anywhere. She's taking me. I'm going to school.
Big fella, come here. Now, where's that penny I gave you? No, I don't want to see it. All right. Did Ma Lovey give you another? Now listen. Here. Don't wriggle so. Not to buy. Listen. Too many pints of ice cream with my penny. Understand?
Yes, Uncle Tom. Cross my tummy. I promise.
Well, then you may go. I guess that will be all for the present. Well?
Haven't you? Aren't you? Isn't there something? Isn't you forgetting something?
Bless my stars. What now?
If you could kind of lean over this way. No, not that way. No, this way, this way.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so at first?
Goodbye, dear old Uncle Tom. I likes to be hugged like that. I can taste sausages.
You embarrass me, son. Here, Ma, take your boy. Now remember what I told you, Jimmy.
I members.
God bless you, Tom. Good luck.
Thank
God
you.
bless you, Uncle Tom. Good luck.
Thank you. Goodbye.
John!
I wonder what's up. It's rather early for him. I'll go.
Well, stranger, how does it happen you're out so early in the morning?
I hadn't seen any of you for a week, and I thought I'd come by on my way to work to find out how things are going. There's no need of asking how you are, Rachel. And the mother and the boy?
Ma dear's rheumatism still holds on. Jimmy's fine.
I'm sorry to hear that your mother is not well. There isn't a remedy going that my mother doesn't know about. I'll get her advice and let you know. Well, Tom, how goes it?
There's plenty of go, but no get there.
I was hoping for some better news.
If I remember rightly, not so many years ago, you tried and failed. Then, a colored man hardly had a ghost of a show. Now, he hasn't a ghost of a ghost.
That's true enough. What are you gonna do?
I'll do this little going act of mine the rest of the week. And then I'll do anything I can get to do. If necessary, I suppose, I can be a white wing.
Tom, I came 6 years ago. I found I was up against a stone wall. You know, your experience you see to the letter. I couldn't let my mother starve, so I became a waiter. I studied waiting. I made a science of it, an art. In a comparatively short time, I'm a head waiter, and I'm up against another stone wall. I've reached my limit. I'm 32 now. I'll die a head waiter. College friends, so-called, and the acquaintances used to come up into the restaurant, and one or two of, at first, attempted to commiserate with me, and they didn't do it again. I waited upon them. I did my best. Many of them tipped me. I can remember my first tip still. They come in yet. Many of them are already powers, not only in this city, but in the country. Some of them make a personal request that I wait upon them. And I'm an artist now in my proper sphere. They tip me well, extremely well. The larger the tip, the more pleased they are with me. Because of me, in their own eyes, they're philanthropists. Amusing, isn't it? I can stand their attitude now. My philosophy, learn hard, is to make the best of everything you can and go on. At best, life isn't so very long. Yeah, you're wondering why I'm telling you all this. I wish you to see things exactly as they are. There are many disadvantages and some advantages in being a waiter. My mother can live comfortably. I'm able even to see that she gets some of the luxuries. Tom, it's this way. I can always get you a job as a waiter. I'll teach you the art. If you care to begin the end of the week, all right? And remember this, as long as I keep my job, this offer holds good.
Thank you. I guess it's safe to say you'll see me at the end of the week. John, hear that racket? My kitty's gently begging me admittance. It's about 20 minutes of 9, isn't it? I thought so.
This has been part 2 of Rachel by Angela Weld Grimke. Rachel has been a co-production with Columbus Children's Theater. Many thanks to Kelsey Hopkins for helping us find some of our cast. Rachel is presented as part of the Good and Troubled Readings in the Dark, funded in part from a grant by the Greater Columbus Arts Council. Rachel is also presented as a continuation of the King Arts Complex's ongoing Heart of Protest series, which reminds us that the pandemics which caused the uprising have plagued us before. Perhaps we can heal in our time by looking to remedies that worked in the past, or at least learn from the ways both our ills and cures seem to cycle in similar ways. As part of Heart of Protest, we'd like to thank Easton Community Foundation and the Ohio State Bar Foundation. Platinum sponsors IMC Foundations and PNC Bank. Additional support has been provided by Ohio Humanities, the National Endowment for Humanities, the Federal CARES Act of 2020, and the King Arts Complex as operating sponsors. It features Ms. Shauna Marie Davis as Rachel, Ms. Jacqueline Shaka as Mrs. Loving, Mr. Christopher C. Austin III as John Strong, Mr. Ryan Patrick Jones as Tom Loving, Master Colin McFarlane as Jimmy. Our trusty intern is Ms. Liz Hardy. Our sterling sound designer is Mr. Wade Blair II. Our productive production manager is Mr. Eli Chung. King Arts Complex's performing arts director, possibly the hardest working arts administrator in Central Ohio, is Mr. Javon Collins. Our CEO and executive director is Ms. Demetrius Neely. Oh, and I am the guy who thought it was a good idea to share this piece of art with you. My name is David S. Harewood, and I directed and produced this project. To learn more about Voices from the Sky Theatrics and Theater for All People, you can like Theater for for All People, that's theater with an R-E, and King Arts Complex on Facebook, or follow us on Instagram. You could also just send me, David S. Harewood, a friend request on any platform, and I should be able to send you where you need to go. If you liked what you heard and wanted to help keep us going, you can donate to future productions via Venmo, CashApp, or Zelle to @TapCBus.